show you my rendition of polishing headlights. So what I have here is my son's car. It is an 06 Mazda 5, I think. So I polished this side already. So you can see it's pretty clear. I think, you know, there's no replacement for a new lens overall. There's always going to be some finishes that you just can't beat, that can't get back to new. So this is the other side, and in the camera, or sorry, in the video here, it's not going to show you very well, but it's very yellowed, and we're just going to polish it up to get it like the other side. Again, the video's not showing it as bad as it actually is, but we're going to show you anyway. So what I use here, a micro mesh kit, is, so I ordered this online, and it comes just in a little box like this. Inside of there is, we got here 6 grits of sandpaper, and then as well in here is just a little bottle of like rubbing compound, or like a polishing compound, and those are just lint-free cloths, and a little rubber block if you want to wrap the sandpaper in that. So I've seen some videos where they say, you know, use a big buffer and all that stuff. I suppose that would work. I'm not a believer in the buffer. I've personally done the micro mesh, and I've liked the results. I just have a margarine container with some warm water and just like a little dab of dish soap in it, just to help it glide. So you never want to sand dry. So if your headlights are really rough, you can start off with like a 600 or an 800, and it's all about just getting all the roughness off, like all the stone chips and stuff like that. So you want to start with that grit and work your way up. So there's no real, you want to have at least that many grits, because each time you go, it's going to make the scratches smaller and smaller and smaller, and then eventually just a small rubbing compound there at the end will make it clear. I've seen a lot of videos where they do the buffer and they do all kinds of stuff, and yeah, it does, in my opinion. I've never done the buffer, so I can't really speak to it, but you want to wash them, and then you want to start off with the roughest grit. In this case it's 1500, and I'm going to do about 5 to 10 minutes per grit. So it's going to take me about an hour to get this done. And yeah, so I'm also going to take tape, painter's tape, and just mask around the painted surface so I don't hit it as I go. Alright, so it's all masked off. All I did was just do a 1-inch layer, and then I just went over the 2-inch layer. Use what you got. So I'm not going to show you exactly, like, videotape every 5 minutes of every grit. You guys get the idea, but that's all there is to it. So in here I just put the sandpaper in there to let it soak for a few minutes. I just stacked them all up, and they're all in order, so I know which grits. And as I'm done with them, I'm not going to put them back in the water. I'll rinse them out, and I'll just hang them. Let's start. So I got a clean rag here. Just going to dip it in the water. Rinse the headlight down. Put this aside for now. Stand up here. And then you want to always cross your grit. So if you're going this way, you want to go this way, back and forth, or this way, or go, you know, the beginning grits, you can go in a circle. Whatever it is, you just don't want to sand a pattern into your headlights. So, so like I said, whatever way you're going, make sure you alternate, and then as you go, you can dry the headlight and see which way your scratches are going. It will progressively get smoother and smoother, like I said, throughout all the grits. So I'm just going around. In this case, I'm going to do circles, and you can see that it's kind of this milky presence. A little bit of that is the soap, but it's actually, some of that is sanding that lens, and it's coming out in the water. So never sand dry. Always keep your sandpaper wet. I like to dip it in. If you want, you can dip the rag and run it across the top. And really, it shouldn't take you more than like an hour or so to do a light. And that's doing a pretty good job. I think that would be a really good job, actually. So, and that's it. You just keep going. You'll feel it being rough a little bit on your sandpaper, and then, you know, if you're picking up sand and or grit, then you know you got to rinse it off. But you'll feel the lens itself getting smoother, and then just move up in grits after so long. And I think the longer, especially when it gets up to the higher grits, like the 3600 and the 4000 and the 6000, I would take a bit longer doing it, just because that's when it's really refining that lens, getting the scratches out. So there you go. So I'm still on 1500. So you can see how it's kind of foggy. That's the 1500. So I dried this off just to show you guys. And what you're going to see is I'll dry these off as the stages go, and you'll see that clear up as it just refinishes the plastic. So the next grit is 1800 actually, I'm mistaken. So the more steps you have, the better it'll be of a surface finish. So I like to add a bit of water, so take this and just add some, rinse it down, and then we'll polish it up. So you can see the fog, it's getting more even, and the scratches, I don't know if you can see in the camera, but it's getting more even, and that's good. You can see kind of, you know, maybe I didn't rub as hard in those areas. But that fog will slowly lift as you go up in grits, and that's what's important. Like, if you're using the sandpaper method of cleaning off your lenses, it works, but you need lots of grits in progressively small steps. So now the next one is 2400, and I'll show you guys after I dry that off. Okay, so here's 2400. You can start to see the fog is starting to lift already, and that's how it works all the way up. So each grit now takes a little more of that fog out. I don't know if you guys can get up closer. You see those scratch lines? That's just from sanding and just refinishing the outside lens. So I've seen this work from lenses that were very close to the color, the tape, obviously yellow, not green, but it works great. So I'm just on the 3600 now. For me, I'm just folding it in threes and doing it. So I try to, like I said, alternate my patterns and keep going. And eventually I will lay this sandpaper out like that and hold my hand on it and just give it, you know. So at the end is when I'll show you guys the lens when it's all dry. And see the difference. So that's after the 3600, so I have 2 grits to go, but you can see how clear it's getting already. That fog is starting to lift. And at the end, I usually just put like, well, I'll do the polish, and then I'll maybe just put a rainic, something just to give it a bit of slip so that it, you know, nothing really sits on it. But you can see how clear it's getting already over the lens, just from sanding and progressive grits. So the next one up is 4000, and I'll do that for 5 minutes again. And yeah, so there's 4000. Okay, so that's the end of 4000. The GoPro isn't showing it very well, but the scratches are coming out. There are a few of these. I don't know if you guys can pick up on them. Like this guy here that runs up here, that's kind of like a crack within the lens. There's a few more up in here and one up here, right there. Those are inherent in the thing. Maybe it took a big rock hit, I don't know. But anyway, so it's getting pretty smooth, and you can see, I don't know if you guys can see in the camera, but you can see a little bit of it. The scratches, like some of these are big rock chips that, you know, they're not going to come out. You're not going to be a brand new lens at the end of the day, but it is going to be very, very clear compared to what it was. So now I'm going to do the 6000, and I'm just going to take a bit longer. Like I'm going to really buff that out for probably 10 minutes, and that's just my personal preference. I don't think you have to more than any other grit. So again, I've just been going. You want to make sure you don't have any grit on it in case you're transferring any back in your water. I've seen some people use spray bottles, whatever you like. I've just been using this rag and dipping it in there and then wetting it. Get it on there. And then again, just going around and in opposite directions of where I was last time. And this one I'll probably do for 10 minutes. then I'll buff it up. Alright, there's the end of the 6000 grit. So you can see it's a lot clearer. There's still a bit of a haze. It could be just some dirty water or whatever, but you do put the polishing compound on now to just kind of buff those out. Okay, so all I'm taking is just a Scott rag. It says take about dime-sized portion there, squirt, and just buff it on with a, it says damp cloth, but I don't think the damp part is really relevant, and that's it. You just buffer 2 to 3 minutes hard until it all goes away, until the cream goes away. So that's it. That's the finished product. You can see how much clearer it is. I hope you can see it in the camera. Like I said, I like to coat it with a bit of Rain-X or whatever at the end, but that's just me. And worst case scenario is you just kind of coat it again with either that rubbing compound that's in the kit. But really, if you're dealing with yellowed lights, not a big deal. So that's how I do it. And I'm sure there's lots of variations. So anyway, thanks a lot, guys. If you like, subscribe, comment. I don't know, I'm just gonna keep making random videos.